a lot of my customers that I work with in virtual mentoring, they come to me and say, hey, Nick, I've set up this deployment pipeline, but my semantic model, it's not working properly. I have all these errors. I don't know what's going on. Well, I already know what the issue is. My name is Nick Lee, and at Pragmatic Works, this is an issue that I run into all the time. The core issue, the crux of the problem, is that when you build a semantic model, it doesn't auto-bind to the artifacts that exist within the workspace after you do a deployment via a deployment pipeline. Most other artifacts do automatically auto-bind, whether it be a pipeline, a lakehouse, a warehouse, notebook, whatever it is. All those things typically auto-bind without any problems. You don't have to do any custom work. But specifically for semantic models, at the time of this recording, not a feature. Okay, doesn't do the auto binding. So we need to fix it. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into Fabric right now and show you what exactly is going on, side-by-side comparison of something that doesn't work versus something that does work. So here I am on my Fabric homepage right now. I'm going to go ahead and spin up a brand new workspace. This will just be really quick. I'm just going to call it YT for YouTube. And this is fix my semantic model. Feel free to do this if you want to in an existing workspace you already have. I'm going to be doing this completely with free data that you could easily access if you wanted to test it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put this on a Fabric trial and I'm going to hit apply. I have this new workspace and I'm going to start loading some objects in here. I'm going to choose a new item and I am going to do a lakehouse. But I don't want to just do any lakehouse in here. I actually want to bring in a sample lakehouse. That way we can all do this together. So to do that, I'm actually going to go to the workloads tab instead. And at the very bottom, I'm going to choose the data engineering and I am going to choose explore sample. And this will actually pull in a sample lakehouse for us to use. I'm just going to use retail data model from Wide World Importers. So everyone could use this same sample lakehouse. You just have to go to that workloads tab. As you can see, this created a sample lakehouse directly in my semantic model. Now I'm going to go back to my workspace. And in my workspace, I am going to see that I have now a lakehouse and a SQL Analytics Endpoint. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly throw together two different semantic models to show the comparison of how we could fix this using what's called a deployment pipeline rule. That's what we're looking to do. We're going to use a rule from a deployment pipeline. Okay. So I'm going to have this done. I'm going to create a quick semantic model here. And there's a couple ways you could do that. Of course, I could hit new item and I am going to search for semantic model, click it, one lake catalog. I'm going to just do this top one here. But as an example, YT_fix my semantic model, right? So fix my semantic model is the one that I'm going to be utilizing. Notice there's no SQL Analytics Endpoint on here. Keep that in your mind. So I'm going to load this one. I'm going to hit connect. Now I'm just going to pull in one table. I'm just going to pull in Dimension City. And this is my SMLH semantic model Lakehouse City. Lakehouse. My semantic model, I'm just going to call it city there. Make it nice and easy. After a little editing magic, you can see my semantic model's created. No issues, right? So now if I go back to my workspace and I do one more semantic model, but I want to create this one based off the SQL endpoint instead of the Lakehouse, which by the way, not a best practice. Best practice should be utilizing your main lakehouse for semantic models, but specifically for deployment pipelines, if you want your semantic models to bind properly, you have to use the SQL Analytics Endpoint at the time of this recording, all right? But this is how you fix it. So remember when we looked at new items, semantic model, it didn't give us an option to build a semantic model off of our analytics endpoint. But if you click on the SQL Analytics Endpoint, at the top, it says new semantic model. And this is how you create one directly based off of this. So I'm going to hit new semantic model. This one's going to be SMLH SQL Endpoint City. And I'm just going to choose city on here, just so I know the difference between them. That has been created. If I go back to my workspace, I can see that this semantic model now exists. I have two different semantic models that just contain that one table called city. That's it. Very simple. They both work without issues. But when it comes to utilizing them inside of a deployment pipeline, that's where we get those problems, like I mentioned. So as a reminder, if you use a deployment pipeline, if you're running into this problem, you probably already have this access. But for full clarity's sake, to use a deployment pipeline, to get this to work properly, deployment pipelines have to be part of a Fabric capacity, has to be at least a trial or F2 or better, whatever it is. And if you're this far, you probably already have that. But just in case you didn't, I wanted to call it out. So if I go down to my ellipses at the bottom, choose deployment pipelines. Now, if I make a new pipeline, you can see I have a different one here, that just old testing one that I had. I'm going to call this YT fix my semantic model. Sure. Next, dev, test, and prod. Obviously, as far as naming conventions go, I didn't really follow the best practice on my first workspace. I apologize. I didn't call it dev, didn't label it properly, but I need to make a new one for test. And I'm not going to worry about production for this example. If you're following along, it's going to be utilizing two of them. I'm going to hit create and continue. And now I need to assign workspaces. But I didn't make a test workspace here, right? So I need to go ahead and make one of those. So I'm going to go back to my workspaces. I'm going to create a new workspace. I'm going to call this YT fix my semantic model test. Like I should have done to begin with, have a dev workspace, have a test workspace. I really wanted to show you guys this quick example here. So I'm going to throw this into Fabric Trial, the same one. All right, now that I have this one created as well, there we go. It's completely empty, right? I could go back to the tabs at the top, choose my fix my semantic model pipeline. Now I can start assigning some workspaces. So the first one, I'm going to assign fix my semantic model. This is my dev workspace. And my test workspace is the one we're going to utilize for tests, right? Fix my semantic model test. And I'm going to hit the checkbox on both of these, lock them in, and voila, deployment pipeline is created. Now, if I want to move everything that exists in my development workspace, which is fix my semantic model, I can just choose my test deployment pipeline, hit select all, the select all button, and then hit deploy. And now it's going to move everything over. So let's give that a second to finish. This has been full deployed. Now let's go check out these semantic models and see if they work. So I'm going to go back to my test workspace and I'm going to choose my regular city one. And I can look at the open workspace lineage. I select it. We can actually see that the Lakehouse it's trying to get is from, the fix my semantic model, which is my dev Lakehouse. So it's pulling info from my dev Lakehouse into this semantic model. That's not very good, right? And we could verify that is definitely not working by going back to that workspace, my test workspace. I'm definitely in my test workspace. It's going to hit the back button. I'm going to go back to my test workspace and I'm going to open it and see what it looks like in here. And you're actually going to see it's got some errors. I can also hover over it and see that it's pointing to my dev workspace, not my test workspace, as far as this connection is on. So let's go ahead and check on our SQL endpoint semantic model as well. And I'm just going to click it from this menu. It's nice and easy to get to. And we can see the location is in test, but if I open it, got an error. If I hover over it, once again, it's actually telling me a different database. Get to that in a second. But this one is also giving me the similar error. It's not connecting to the correct item. Okay. If I look at the lineage of this, just like we did a moment ago, if I look at the workspace lineage, I can actually see this endpoint is still, this is the second one here. It is pointing to my dev workspace. Okay. So how do we fix this? We fix this as a deployment rule in the deployment pipeline. So I'm going to close everything out just to kind of give myself a little bit of space again here. Close everything out and let's go back to the tab at the top where it says deployment pipeline. I click that, it dropped me right back where I was. And if I click this little lightning bolt icon that is on my test stage, now I could set up what's called a deployment rule. And I have two semantic models that are a part of this that I can modify. Well, if I click on the semantic model that is not part of the SQL endpoint, I could see that my data source rules is actually grayed out. This is that functionality I was telling you about where this not supported yet for the standard Lakehouse, even though the standard Lakehouse is the best practice if you're building a semantic model to put it there, not in the SQL endpoint. Okay. But that being said, if I click on the SQL endpoint one, we are actually going to see some data source rules. I can actually add a rule. Well, what does that look like? If I hit add rule, we can see that the database and server information looks similar to what we saw when we hovered over the city table in the semantic model. If I click it, basically what we need to do now is change the database information and connection string information from the dev workspace into the test workspace's Lakehouse SQL endpoint. So we're going to do that together here. I'm going to close this out, this rule. I'm going to go over to my YouTube Fix My Semantic Model test workspace that I was working in here. I'm going to go into that workspace and to get out of this view on the top right, see it says lineage view. I can just click this button next to it. It says list view. I'm just going to click that. There we go. Now I see everything that's in this workspace. No issues. That being said, what I'm going to do now is get this SQL endpoint information out of this workspace. There's 2 items I need: connection string and database name, database connection information, basically. So the first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to just click the more options and hit view details. And in the view details, I am going to click the ellipses and I'm going to choose copy SQL connection string. This is that kind of gibberish, that kind of what we were looking at a moment ago, but I'm going to hit copy. This is my connection string. Okay. I'm actually going to open up a little notepad here, paste it in. All right. That's my connection string. So I have that one. And the next thing I need is the database name. So how do I get the actual database name? Well, it's a good question. If I actually go back, or if I open my SQL Analytics endpoint, at the top in the URL, there's a lot of information up here. For instance, this first bit that is under groups, this is actually the workspace GUID. This is how you connect to the workspace. Is like the ID for the workspace behind the scenes. And the SQL Analytics endpoint is everything that's after mirrored warehouses. All right. So BO63, blah, 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 all the way up to the question mark is the connection information for this database. That's the ID for this database. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to copy it and also put that in my little notepad here just so I can have them both real quick. So now that I have both of those, I can go back to my deployment pipeline via the tab at the top, look at my rules, my deployment rules, go to my endpoint semantic model. Remember, it has to be the endpoint. And I go into data source rules, add a rule. I'm going to modify the database in the server. So then I'm going to choose other. So the database, if I look at it, is this bottom one I just grabbed. I'm going to paste that in database. And then I'm going to grab my SQL connection string, which is this one at the top, paste it in that server, hit save, and voila, it's done. Okay. So now that this is done, if I deploy this one more time, notice it says different from source in my deployment pipeline because it is different. Based on the rule, it's actually going to modify my semantic model to point to a different location. So it's going to be different. But I'm going to hit deploy on here because when you hit deploy is when it changes those items dynamically for us. Okay. So after this deploys, my semantic model will actually be updated. Successfully deployed the test. That looks fantastic. So now I'm going to go back to my test workspace one final time, look at my SQL endpoint city, open it. So it's currently giving me a little error. All right, guys, it's okay. It does that the first time here when you've already connected to it once with the bad information. Now we just got to make sure this good information is synced on it. So if I hit editing, I switch it to editing, my semantic model. If I hit edit tables, it's not there. Why isn't it there? Well, I'll tell you why it's not there. Because we use sample data. One of the downsides to doing this whole process is because we use sample data. So I'm going to actually quickly add this data in here because there wasn't like a pipeline or something or artifact that we actually utilize to get this data in here properly. So keep that in mind, just sample data. If you were using your real world data and you did all these changes, it's going to work. But for this case, we're going to go ahead and fix it because we're using the sample data that anyone could utilize. So I'm going to go back to my test workspace. I'm going to go back to my here and my Lakehouse. If we can look at it, you can actually see it's completely empty because a deployment pipeline doesn't move data. It moves metadata. So if you had pipelines that would loading data into these Lakehouses, you would need to execute them once in a deployment pipeline for them to load. If you're used to using deployment pipelines, you probably already know that. But in this case, we don't have it. So I'm going to quickly connect to the other workspaces, Lakehouse, just to get that data in here for testing purposes on this. I'm going to right click the DBO schema. I'm going to hit new table shortcut. I'm going to look through one lake. I'm going to go to fix my semantic model, Lakehouse, hit next, tables, DBO. I'm going to grab dim city here. You can utilize this quick shortcut for our example. All right. Now we actually have a table that exists in this Lakehouse called dimension city, right? It actually exists here. Okay. This is a real fake object that's a shortcut. So if I go back to my SQL endpoint semantic model and I go into editing and I check the tables, hit refresh. There it is. All right. Confirm. Now this semantic model is actually bound to this workspace, right? I could double check that. Again, the whole shortcut thing we had to do, that was just because we're using sample data. All right. You guys get that point. Deployment pipelines don't move data just to metadata, okay? But we created a shortcut and all was good in our example. Again, we could check the lineage of this. If we go back to my test workspace, I could even just click this lineage view tab on the top right, this little button up here. I could check my semantic model and we could see that, hey, it's actually referencing technically it is referencing this other one because it's a shortcut. But I digress. If we were using real data, it would point to the correct workspace. All that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is something that comes up in the real world all the times. Again, the whole shortcut madness we had to do was just for the example purposes, so you guys can follow along and do exactly what I did. Feel free to test this on your own data that you have loaded, but otherwise, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.